In 3.1 to 3.3, you learned how to solve quadratic equations by completing the square, factoring. Now you're going to find it a lot easier by just using the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 over 8 times ac, all divided by 2a. You just have to identify the a, the b, and the c. To do that, you look at this equation and they tell you where the a is. The a is with the x squared, the b is with the x, and c is the number all by itself. So if I look at this equation here, I can see the number of the x squared is 1, b is negative 2, c is negative 7. I then plug those numbers into the equation or into the formula and solve it and just see how it's been done. Just go through it, nice and simple for you. When you get down to here, you have 32. I want to factor it out. I want to break it down as small as possible. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So I've broken it down. I take out groups that I can, so that when I end up solving the equation, it looks a lot smaller, looks like this. So here's a question I'd like you to try. So stop the tape, try it by referring to the example on the previous page, and then once you get it done, turn the tape back on and see how I've done it. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a. I just have to identify the a, the b, and the c. So here the a is 1, the b is 4, and the c is negative 1. So plug it in. Negative b is 4 plus or minus the square root 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 1, divided by 2 times a, which is 1 again. So nothing out here can change, so negative 4 plus or minus 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 1, negative 1 is negative 4, so there it is, all over. 2 times 1 is 2. Nothing happened outside again. 16 minus negative 4 is 20, all over 2. I then going to simplify my radical. So 20 is equal to 2 times 2 is 4 times 5 divided by 2. I can take this group of 2 and bring them out. I get negative 4 plus or minus 2 square root 5 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 once and once, and 2 also goes into negative 4. Negative 2 times. So it's negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 5. There is my answer. Very simple to do. So I want you to try looking at this one, this equation, where it involves you to put the equation into ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So that's what you're going to do. So read it, see how it's done. Once you get an idea how it's done, I then want you to stop the tape, try these two equations, and then turn the tape back on to see how I was able to complete them. Okay, so you should have finished these equations. So this is what you have to do. You have to get it into ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So 2x is equal to 3. X times x is x squared. X times 1 is plus 1x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x, and negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 2x. Group my like terms. Plus x minus x, that equals 0, so I'm left with this. Bring the 3 in now. So 2x is equal to 3x squared minus 3. Bring the negative 2 over. So 3x squared minus 2x, positive here, cross the equal sign of negative, minus 3. There's my a, there's my b, there's my c. Once again, formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a. Plug in what I know. Negative 2 plus or minus negative 2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 3, c is negative 3, all divided by 2 times 3. Negative times a negative is positive, so 2 plus or minus. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times negative 3 is negative 36. And 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus or minus 4 minus negative 36 is 40 divided by 6. I'm now going to break this down. So 40 is equal to 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 times 2 is 10 divided by 6. I can take out a group of 2, comes out. So I'm left with 2 plus or minus 2 square root 10 divided by 6. I can take a 2 out of here, I can take a 2 out of there, and I can take 3 2's out of there. So I'm now left with 1 plus or minus the square root of 10 over 3. And there's your answer. This one has to stay there. This one does not, because it has that imaginary 1 there anyways, because you're multiplying. There it is. Question B. Same thing. We got to put in the ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So, bring it in. 2x times x is 2x squared minus 2x plus 1x minus 1 is equal to 5x. Group your like terms, I don't have that. I have 2x and 1x, I get negative x minus 1 is equal to 5x. Bring this over. 2x squared minus x minus 5x, positive here, comes across the equal sign, becomes negative. Minus 1 is equal to 0. 2x squared minus 6x minus 1 is equal to 0. There it is. There's my A, B, C. Plug it in the equation. So B is going to be negative 6 plus or minus negative 6 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is negative 1, divided by 2 times A, which is 2. Negative times a negative is positive, so 6 plus or minus. Negative 6 squared is 36. 4 times 2 is 8, times negative 1 is negative 8. All over 2 times 2 is 4. 6 plus or minus. 36 minus negative 8 is 44 divided by 4. Simplify 44, I get 2 times 2 is 4 times 11 gives me 44. 4. Bring out a group of 2. 6 plus or minus 2 square root 11 divided by 4. I have 3 2's in there, I have 1 2 there, and I have 2 2's there. So I'm left with 3 plus or minus, I don't have to worry about writing the 1 down, divided by 2. There is my answer. Simple. So quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a, is used to solve quadratic functions. Very simple. Have a good day.